The feng shui of the White House, I am sorry to say, has gone from bad to worse. And part of that is because, as I reported in an earlier video, not only is the East Wing basically destroyed, we also now have the complication of the South Lawn with a UFC arena being built. And the feng shui of this is a major story when we look at all the pieces in play and how it impacts the American people. So, welcome. My name is Lydia Griffith. This is Firehorse Wisdom. And if feng shui, Chinese astrology speaks to you, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you do not miss a single video. All right. So it's a bit of a mess. I'm just going to move this because I feel like I'm looking down at you and I don't want to be doing that. There, that's somewhat better. All right. So all the stuff of filming. I am not a filmographer. But anyway, so in a previous video, and I'll put a link to that so you can see it, I had talked about when we do renovation, all right, we do renovation on a home, a business, inside or outside, it impacts the people who live in that home. And because the White House is technically the people's house, what happens on the lawn, what happens to the White House, in some ways is also impacting us as a collective American people, as a family. So the East in Feng Shui represents the family and our welfare. It's gone. It's been demolished. Our welfare and us as a family is completely in rubble. Okay? I know. And then it's enough to make you cry. And then we have the South Lawn with a UFC fight ring being put in place. What does the South represent, you ask? Our reputation and how we are seen. It also can be said our moral code. It is, the element of fire, and it also happens to represent the horse. So this is the Tai Shui or the Grand Duke of 2026. Essentially, the one area, if you're gonna mess an area up, that is the last one to be messing with because it is an affront. It is as if the horse were the queen and we were all going to visit her. And as we showed up, we just started wrecking the place. And I think she'd be kind of upset, and things would probably go pretty wrong. And that's what happens when we disturb the chi of a very sacred part or problematic part of the bagua, the directions that are the rooms of our house sit in, as well as extending that bagua out into the yard. All right. So I'm going to share with you the image I have for the White House. Here we go. So here's the South Lawn. Here's the East. Here's the Oval Office sitting in the South. I know. This is a really bad situation because the president one of the good things is at least I think the desk, I believe, is here where my cursor is, just below that room, right? The word room. So one thing is, at least he has his back to the south, which is way better. You don't want to face the south. Now, the fact that this is all with a UFC fight going on to celebrate our 250th birthday. And remember, friends, that July 4th, according to the Chinese calendar, the solar calendar, is still the month of June. President Trump is also born in the month of June. This is again the month of the horse in the year of the horse, which means what goes down in June is showing us the Cliff Notes version, the juiced down essence of this entire year. We're seeing it all play out collectively, personally. So the fact that this South Lawn has all of this horrible construction and a fight that's going to be breaking out, a scheduled fight, is beyond a disaster. And again, that the East Wing, our family as Americans, and our welfare. Now, the other thing that's just been destroyed. And then the North, I don't know what's going on in the North, that area of the grounds, if he's doing anything there, but oh, the North is where this is sits in opposition, right, to the South. This is the placement of the rat, where the three killings and the Shui Po for this year is. So every year there's three afflictions. One is the direction that rules the animal of the year. And again, this year it's the South. And the enemy of the horse is the rat, and the rat rules the North. And this is our career, our ability to thrive in life. Yeah. So all of these renovations that keep happening are creating chaos. Now, if we took the same situation and we put it on your house to make this maybe a little easier to process or understand the scope of how bad this is as if you started a kitchen renovation in which, you know, the family comes home, the kids come home, your partner comes home, and they're like, oh my God, you didn't ask us before doing this. And you're like, we need a new kitchen. So I had the demolition crew show up. And your partner's like, well, who have you hired? And you're like, some good people. Believe me, they're good people. Just trust me. And the good people don't show up. So now you have no kitchen and everybody's pissed at you. Not only that, but your family and the welfare of that family has been destroyed. And now there's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of confusion. People don't understand what's going on and why this has happened. And then somebody in the family decided they're going to get married, and you've decided to set all of it up in the South Lawn. And now you're disrupting the domain of the horse, and you're hammering spikes in the ground to keep the tent up, and the music's going to play, and there's all this commotion. This is where it is guaranteed somebody's going to trip over a spike that's holding the tent down, right? Trip and fall and break an ankle. This is where the caterer drops the cake. I mean, anything and everything goes wrong when there's chaos, because the chi, or the energy, has been disturbed. The beauty, one of many, of Feng Shui and astrology is this, my friends. It is not to scare you. No, no. It's to inform you of the situation so you know how to work with it, not to be a victim of it. So if you know ahead of time what the feng shui of your home, and again, extend your bagua into the yard. If you know what that area, the areas are to avoid and honor for all the different reasons, negative chi, or again, the year of the horse sitting in the south, you know to pick a more advantageous area like the southeast. If you had just moved all the activity over and squarely put it in the southeast, with, mind you, the intention of that, because then it's an honoring, a respecting of, right? Yeah. So when you do a feng shui consultation, that's the information that is so helpful to know where you want to keep things quiet and undisturbed and dark, dormant, and where you want to activate the chi, right? And you can jump on a free discovery call with me and we can unpack some of this in that 15 minutes we have to see if a consultation is right with you and whether bundling your Bazi astrology is also helpful to see how your home is married to your house. Actually, makes me wonder, what is that is, oh, I just thought of something new. What is President Trump's quad number? Because your quad number tells you how the front door works for you, if your office is supporting you or not. Regardless, when you've shaken up the snow globe of your home with lots of demolition, like the White House, what happens is you can't think clearly. Anything and everything starts to go wrong, and chaos ensues. So the more that the chaos is not just external in the chi of the home and property, it begins to become more and more internalized, right? And if the people in the home, especially the owners of the home, tend to be people that thrive on chaos, there may already be the condition for chaos to be there, in which case this whole situation is spinning out of control. And again, this is the people's house, our house, and we are out of control. Now, again, we could freak out. Many people are freaking out. Doesn't help us. It weakens us, in fact. And fear is actually a great way to control people because, again, when your mind's in fear mode, it's very hard to make good decisions and choices. Just like if I said to you, ooh, this next couple years are going to be a challenge for you. Now you have a choice there to freak out. I could say the same thing about your home. Ooh, your front door and bedroom are in really challenging places for the next few years. You can make choices to shift things to work with it. What I'm saying, friends, is yes, the United States is in the midst of a demolition. Okay. And we're seeing it playing out in the people's house, our feng shui of our nation, right in time for our 250th birthday, which I find just fascinating. The timing of all of this and the videos I have coming up with in partnership and collaboration with other amazing Western astrologers this year is going to illuminate not just the downloads I have had, but through the lens of Bazi astrology, the journey that the United States is about to go through in the next 10 years. And again, this is an opportunity. Whenever we meet with challenge, when we pause and without reacting, we observe the situation, get curious, ask questions. What's going on? What are my options of how to navigate this for for my highest benefit? And also consider my family, the people in this tribe, my other Americans, regardless of party, regardless of what we look like, smell like, dress like, dance like. We need to come into community, build the house back, because sometimes the contractor walks off the job, and sometimes you have to learn yourself how to put the boards and the nail and the hammer together. We can't build a house by ourselves. I would imagine that would take a whole long, long time for one human to build a house by themselves. Sure, it's been done. Wouldn't recommend it. So anyway, that is my reading. And yes, I'm foreshadowing some videos to come that are going to be, again, illuminating way more information. And information is your superpower because the more that you're informed of the energies that we're dancing in, the more that you can follow the rhythm and align your life, again, for your highest good and the good of all of American people. So I'm sorry to see this. And it is not surprising to me that all of this, again, is landing on our month of the horse, year of the horse, in time for our 250th. So thank you for watching. And until next time, please be well.